Right, welcome, word and mouth acolytes. It's Dave Thackeray again, and you'll see a little hinge of a book here because today it's the second book review, and I'm really passionate about this book. Surprise, surprise. Dave, passionate? Really? Wow, how unusual. But this book has an incredible message to entrepreneurs, big businesses to be, established titans of commerce, because I think what it does is it turns business philosophy on its head. And you'll know from me, I'm a fairly simple thinking guy. I don't pull any punches about that. You know, I'll try to be an effective and an efficient solopreneur, but fundamentally I look at things from a very basic level, which is why it was such a surprise when I read this book, Employees First, Customers Second by Vineet Nayar, that it just caused me an incredible amount of joy. It's written in first person perspective. Vineet is just an amazing guy, and he shares his study of what it took to take an effectively flailing enterprise, HCL Technologies, in the IT sector, to something that was world-beating, world-class, exactly where it was until it started to jitter a little bit before he started taking on board his new philosophies. And then he actually acknowledges along the way in this book that a lot of the path that he took was actually learnt just by taking the path, but fundamentally by consulting with his colleagues and putting employees at the heart of everything that HCLT did moving forward from 2005 on. 2005, obviously, when he joined this enterprise to work with his good friend and mentor. I've always believed putting employees first is the fundamental paradigm shift that will transform companies, that will take companies into the next generation with growth, with success, the zenith of everything they do. And I have to read this because this is something that's quite complicated, but I want you just to seize this. It's basically what Employees First, Customers Second is all about. Now, Nayar states it's the employees in the value zone that are the core differentiator for the business, any business. The USP, your USP, the unique selling proposition, is in the effectiveness and the passion of your people. Now, today, products and services are undergoing this great evolution, devolution into homogenization. Technology has made it so that anybody can pretty much create anything, and that's what makes books like this great, because they encourage change and they stimulate differences in the mindset of the entrepreneur, the CEO. I mean, fundamentally, this is a book, this is a tone that CEOs can really get their heads around and really make them think differently about. Basically, employees in the value zone, which is the guys that build relationships with your customers, your clients, are the people who should be, to a degree, running your business. So the accountability is in the hands of the employees. Now, there are 4 fundamental points that Vineet makes in this book, 4 different processes that take HCLT to where it is today. The first thing is mirror, mirror, which is where you have to take a realistic, pragmatic approach into what makes your business what it is today. The ultimate objective when you're looking at a sea change in processes, a difference in the way that you create business strategies, is to know where you are right now. That's point A. And HCLT was struggling with that a little bit. They weren't sure exactly where they were, and there were a lot of fragmented practices. So the importance there was to actually work out where they were and where they needed to be. And mirror, mirror as a process takes into account the views, the objectives, the missions, the values of everybody within the organisation. Takes a look outside of the business, looking in to figure out where you are and where you need to be, and take you forward. And it's all about consultation within, talking to customers outside, and just making sure that you know exactly where you want to be and where you are right now. Because without those 2 points, dead in the water. Second thing is to establish trust among your employees, because it's very difficult if you have not a hostile internal customer audience, but if you have people who are skeptical about your intentions, or they don't really know where they sit, they need to be communicated to, they need to be part of focus groups, then you need to start establishing trust, credibility, emotional impact, and really figuring out what the guys are thinking about when they need to be thinking about the business itself. So establishing trust is kind of the second part on the 4-part path to the employees first, customers second philosophy. Third thing is to invert the pyramid, and this is a really interesting thing that Nayar talks about, which is all about working out, okay, we've got the CEO at the top right now. He's the guy with control. He's the guy with the beans, and he's the guy that everybody looks to. But in actual fact, it's the employees themselves who should be making the senior leadership teams accountable for everything that they do, because it's the guys on the front line, the guys who build the customer relationships, the guys who talk to the customers on a daily basis, who know what's happening out there in the marketplace, and they know intimately what's happening within your business. So inverting the pyramid, divesting the hierarchical structure into a more flexible, flatline hierarchy is key in developing a future-focused business strategy. The fourth thing is divesting responsibility to everyone in the business. Nayar talks very, very clearly and lucidly here about how important it is that everybody within the business feels as though they're part of the business. He talks about a story with the spider and the starfish, where you cut a leg off a spider and you've got a 7-legged spider. Cut the head off, you've got a dead spider. Cut a leg off a starfish and the leg regenerates, a whole new starfish, and the starfish itself grows another leg. All of the organs are on each respective leg of the starfish, so you've got decentralization. So you really got to think about the ways that future-focused and sustainable enterprises really need to be thinking about how the CEO is as much asking the question as the employees are asking the question of the CEO. So ultimately, the CEO is then allocating responsibility to the different chunks within the business. So into the future, the business can lead the ideas that that really innovative CEO, like Nayar, has given to the internal customers moving forward, when Nayar perhaps doesn't any longer play a part in the business, or your CEO or yourself. So 4 things: mirror, mirror, establish trust, invert that hierarchical pyramid that you have right now, and obviously creating responsibility in everyone in your business. Huge benefit, huge book, really light. I think I got to page 185 and I was done. It's an afternoon's read and it's so enjoyable. This first person thing, I think, could revolutionise business books. It's just intriguing, it's effective, and it's almost like a story. In fact, Nayar has a huge amount of stories in here that he recounts to make it impactful and change the way that you think about business books. So I do recommend giving it a read. It's fantastic. Don't have anything else to say about it apart from the fact that it's a must-read. You can get enormous amounts out of it. It's got a website, employeesfirstbook.com. Talking about websites, you'll find this review in more detail written, not quite as long, I think you'll probably agree, at www.wordandmouth.com/EFCS. Join the debate, tell me what you think. If you enjoyed the video, post one yourself. Give us a book to review, we'll get stuck into it. The next book I'm going to be reviewing is Blue Ocean Strategy. Interesting stuff about that in here, and it led me on to that, and I want to read about that and read more and find out more about business. But as I say, if you want to find out about business made simple, business laid bare, listen in, watch the videos, because I'm all about trying to make it as simple and as easy as it possibly can be, because hey, if I can understand it, anybody can. Thoughts, comments, dave@wordandmouth.com. But until then, employees first, customers second. Get a read, check the link, drop through, pick it up. Sayonara. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll speak soon.